Hey, it's me, Jesse Lee, and this is a clip from this week's episode of the podcast. The full thing is up right now. System of a Down's album Toxicity was removed from Spotify, very briefly. The system literally went down, if you will. This happened on April 30th last week, and I posted the news, and very, very quickly the next day, the record was back up on Spotify. I think it was taken down from Deezer and Amazon Music as well. I'm not sure if anyone's using that to stream music really, but yeah, so it was gone for all of a day. It was like I said in the post when I made the news post, it was likely some kind of licensing issue, or maybe they were changing distributors and they was transferring everything over. That's something people don't think about. Like when a band, does any kind of thing on the back end, things need to be moved around, and there might be a little gap there. There might be a few hour gap where things aren't available while they're transferring, licenses over or whatnot. So I think that's probably what happened. There was probably some kind of licensing or distribution deal that needed to be moved around. I thought about reaching out to Serge Tankian, singer from System of a Down. Not trying to flex again or anything, but I have had him on my podcast before, so I thought about reaching out to him about getting some clarification, maybe getting a quote from him about it, but I didn't want to bother him with it because, again, it was back up the next day, and he'd probably be like, dude, I don't care. I'm not even involved in this decision on why it got taken down. But yeah, so I make that post, and the way the internet works, the way social media works, I make this post about System of a Down's album being down, and people are not seeing it until, multiple days later. The post now has millions of views, and I just have people in my comment section like tell me this isn't real. This is fake news. Why you lying? Why you making shit up for clout? Huh? Why you trying to rage bait people? Huh? It's like, bro, this was true news on April 30th. It was taken down. And I even updated the post. I went back and updated the post and said, hey, update. The album is now back on Spotify for all users. It was only down for one day, but it's out there for everyone. Prayer hands, I even went that far to update the post, but I'm still, to this day, a week later, getting comments. Fake news. Why you lying, bro? Like, what do I gain out of that? What do I gain about posting, about making up something completely untrue and posting it on the? I mean, I guess some people do that, but I don't know. It doesn't really do me any good other than getting shit in the comment section. And I know I could delete the post and take it down, but at this point, it's been screenshotted and shared around. They're like, I'd rather have the original post up still that people can see, so they can read the caption that says, update, here's what's going on with it. That's the problem, though. No one reads the caption. No one looks into it at all. They just see the headline, they move on. They get mad, they type the little comment, they move on. That's the internet for you. But it did lead to an interesting set of conversations. Aside from everyone commenting and talking crap about me being a liar in the comment section, another thing that was brought up a lot in the comment section was the importance of buying physical media. So I put up a poll on my Instagram story at Jesse Lee about this. And I want to know, do you think it's important to buy physical media? Can you trust streaming services to always be there for you? Because like we said, it was only down for a day. The System of a Down record was gone for a day. But if that's your favorite album, if you are only subscribed to Spotify, if that's your only way to stream music, and Toxicity is your favorite album, and maybe you don't have a CD player in your car, maybe you don't have a CD player, maybe you don't have an MP3 player, you don't have it downloaded or anything. Like the only way you listen to it is on Spotify. You couldn't listen to that for a whole day. That kind of sucks, right? And what if it didn't come back in one day? What if it took a few days to come back? That would have been a huge bummer, That's very woe is me, of course. That's very dramatic, but it just illustrates a bigger picture that you can't count on streaming services to always have the product you want to watch or listen to or whatever it is, And I was surprised at the poll I posted that 51% of you said you don't think it's important to buy physical media because of streaming services being unreliable. Now, that's not to say that 51% of the people who respond to this are saying they don't think it's important to buy physical media at all. Not like they're not saying they don't buy because they don't want to support the band. The poll question specifically was, do you think it's important to buy this media because of streaming services not being reliable? And 51% of people said, no, they didn't think it was a big deal, which was surprising because I just expected a lot more skepticism out there, a lot more cynical people out there that don't trust data collection services. But surprisingly, 51% of you said that you don't think it's important. Here's where I'm at. I think it's important, but I also don't practice what I preach, Because like, for instance, one of my favorite movies of all time is Dogma. The old Jay and Silent Bob movie. It's not Jay and Silent Bob, but it's they're in it, but it's Kevin Smith, his movie Dogma. Loved that movie when I was a kid. Way, way too young to be watching it. I should not have been watching it at the age I was, but it was one of my favorite movies as a kid, and it's not available on any streaming services due to licensing and distro issues and whatever. And I know Kevin Smith, before I know the comments are going to be reminding me of this, so I'm going to get ahead of it now. I know Kevin Smith has since bought back the rights to Dogma. He did a big interview about it, and Dogma will be available on streaming services at some point. But as of now, I cannot watch Dogma. I cannot watch that movie. I can't stream it anywhere. I can't buy it anywhere. If I have a DVD, if I could hunt down a DVD copy on eBay, cool. Still have no way to play it because I don't have a DVD player. And again, very woe is me. It's not that big of a deal. I do love that movie, but it's not like I'm not like itching to watch it every day or anything like that. It's not driving me insane. It's not gnawing at me to not be able to watch it. But it's just a good point that there's a lot of things out there, even aside from that, of famous music and movies. How many bands have you listened to when you were younger that never really quote unquote made it, and they just didn't pay the $9.99 for CD Baby to put their music on streaming services, and it's just gone forever? There's a lot of bands that I've listened to and got into when I was younger, especially before the days of streaming even existed, before the internet was really kind of in its infancy. And these songs, these albums are just like gone. They're nowhere to be found. You can't listen to them anymore. They're not there. They disappear. Sometimes somebody will rip something and put it on YouTube and you can listen to it that way. But man, if you don't own it, it's like it didn't exist. There's so many bands and artists out there that probably have like #1 hit songs just sitting on a hard drive somewhere, or worse, they don't even have it. They don't even have it anymore. They wrote it, recorded it, and it's on some laptop that won't turn on. So I do think it's important to produce physical media. I think it's really important to own physical media, and I should really start practicing what I'm preaching here. But let me know in the comments. Let me know, do you think it's important to buy physical media because you can't always rely on streaming services to have everything you need?